My name is Sara Meleika and I read comics. My first memory was really with this book that I brought, which is Yukon Ho, Calvin and Hobbes. It was given to me by a friend on my 7th birthday, and it was the very first time I'd really read comics, and I remember really identifying with both Calvin and Hobbes, the more personality who is a bit more cautious, and also Calvin who's more like, let's escape, let's play all these crazy games. And it's been a really important book to me. I wrote a research paper in high school about comics being like the most, what I was arguing was the most effective form of communication. And that was both that there was the visual aspect, but also that comics often have comedy interlaced with them, or also because people approach it as a cartoon, they have their guard down. And so there's the opportunity to say something more meaningful to people or connect with people on a deeper level. Harvey is a book which talks about grief, but there's very little dialogue on a lot of pages. Like there's a lot of pages that are just like this. But there's pages like this, where you can just see how heavy grief is to this person. So whether it's a comic strip, whether it's Calvin and he's found a dead bird, or it's Harvey, if it's helping me maybe connect with a part of myself that I don't always know how to connect with, I love it. I grew up in an Egyptian family that's sort of similar to Marjan's family, where there's a lot of culture, there's a lot of art, there's a lot of being politically active and educated, and then sort of seeing your country fall apart. And Marjan eventually immigrates to France, and I immigrated here. So I also really found a lot of healing through reading her story, and felt really seen by this character, and was like, oh, that's almost like a small me in a way. Especially this panel of Marjan with her grandmother, and her grandmother giving her last parting advice about always keep your dignity up, be proud of who you are and where you came from. That's something that my grandma really imbued with me. I guess people see me as an oddball, because I like funny voices and characters and things like that. So I feel like when I mention how much I love comics, it's part of that package to them. But also when I talk, I'm always very passionate as I talk about it and tell them about all the books that I've read. I think people don't always realize that there's comics about, immigration and grief and growing as a adult, coming of age stories, and that if they knew how much there was, that they would delve into it more.